I mean, the world was shut down. Like,
Absolutely.
We had to close. We couldn't even be in the same room with people. I mean, it was a whole ordeal.
Wow.
But I say all that to say I'm very thankful that we stayed the course and we didn't back down from buying our home, because obviously we were able to take advantage of the interest rate at the time.
And did you guys get any backlash or some naysayers saying, yeah, you sure you want to be buying a house now?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Folks had a whole lot to say.
Oh, yes.
Unsolicited.
Right.
Let me just say that.
Welcome to the BOOMLENNIAL podcast, hosted by the dynamic duo cousins, Chee and Dee. This podcast celebrates the synergy between a millennial and a baby boomer, showcasing the fusion of generational leadership, insights, and real-life experiences.
We'll unveil strategies not to just survive, but thrive as leaders in an ever-evolving world. Let's ignite the transformation we inspire to see in ourselves, our teams, and our businesses. Let's get started.
Hello, and welcome to another exciting episode of the BOOMLENNIAL podcast, your go-to podcast for entrepreneurship and leadership insights. I'm Chee.
And I'm Dee. Today we'll dive deep into the mindset of boldness and its impact on entrepreneurship.
So Dee, before we get started, don't you have some great news to share with me and our viewers?
Well, yes, I am happy to share that I passed my real estate exam for the state of Georgia on the first try.
Awesome. Congratulations. And I knew you would do it. You've got genes, cousin genes from me, and I passed mine on the first time too. So, but you are going to love this industry and you're going to be great because you just genuinely enjoy helping people. So have you chosen the company that you're going to be working with?
Yep. So I chose to work with Keller Williams Commercial Division since I'm an entrepreneur. And the commercial division allows me to continue helping people, leveraging my business skills and problem solve to assist clients in a variety of real estate solutions. So KW has a great opportunity for new agents. So I'm excited to join the team.
Awesome. Well, that's awesome. Well, again, congratulations, my beautiful queen's cousin.
Thank you. Thank you again, Chee. You inspired me to keep it going. So thanks. So let's jump back into the show so we can educate our viewers on how to embrace boldness. Chee, in the context of business, what does being bold mean to you?
Okay. So to me, being bold means taking calculated risk, challenging the status quo, and having the courage to pursue ambitious goals despite uncertainties. So what does bold means to you when it comes to business, Dee?
Well, I agree. And I'd like to add that boldness often involves stepping out of one's comfort zone. So embracing those discomforts often will fuel your future growth. So that's what I think boldness is.
But when you say embracing discomfort, what do you mean?
Embracing discomfort means being open to learning and seeking new opportunities and pushing through those boundaries. It's where innovation and breakthrough thrive.
Okay. So can you recall a time when you had to embrace some discomfort and step out of your comfort zone?
So, wow. So what comes to mind is that when I owned a franchise business, I won't say the name, but I decided to shut that business down. So on the surface, it seemed like a amazing opportunity. It was a vertical business to an existing e-commerce business that I once owned as well. And so I jumped right in.
Okay.
And so I set up a team. I set up a location here in Georgia. We were ready to go, excited. And so I decided after working with the parent company for over a year that the business wasn't technically going in the right direction.
Okay.
I was reviewing those P&Ls.
Oh, yes.
And things weren't lining up.
Right.
The math wasn't math.
Absolutely.
So I made a decision at that point to go ahead and shut down the business. Now, I had made that decision probably about 3 months prior to announcing it to my team. However, so it's kind of like mourning the loss a bit.
Oh, absolutely.
But I did have to be bold and I did have to act swiftly in making that decision, both to protect my other partners, their financial interests as well as mine. So that was a time where I had to really make a bold decision. the successful piece of that in the long run, it paid off, but obviously it was very uncomfortable in the short term.
Yeah.
So,
well, those things happen. That is well said. And I just want to applaud you for sometimes we have to make tough decisions. And I'm going to tell you, you got to be willing to pivot sometimes. If the numbers are not adding, you go in business to make a profit. If the numbers aren't there, you don't be afraid to just shut it down. So I definitely applaud you.
That's right. So Chee, how critical is resilience in overcoming challenges and setbacks as an entrepreneur?
Well, resilience really is the backbone of success. It's about bouncing back stronger from failures, staying persistent, and maintaining, most of all, a positive mindset amidst any adversities that you may face.
Absolutely. And would you share with our viewers a time where you had to show resilience in overcoming challenges and setbacks?
Sure. So back in 2019, I had actually signed a contract with a major e-commerce company. Really excited about it. You know, I had to relocate and didn't get to live in my house but 5 months. You know, remember I had bought my new house?
A beautiful house.
Right. But it was a great opportunity. So I definitely wanted to take advantage of it. And then COVID hit in 2020, right? And so the company that I was with, as with other companies, we were actually deemed essential. So we had to stay open. And so the company had hired safety officers to make sure that, our drivers were adhering to all of the COVID CDC guidelines. And one of the biggest guidelines was maintaining a 6 feet distance, between one another. So they had safety officers that would basically be reminding the drivers and everybody that they've got to maintain that. Sometimes in their reminding, it wasn't as gentle or as kind as it could have been. So, but needless to say, after following, I guess, a misunderstanding that I had with one of the safety officers, the major commerce company decided not to renew my contract after 2020. So that was a setback for me because, I had moved from my home and was, looking forward to being there for a while.
That's right.
But I decided instead of, taking that and using that adversity to not get bitter, but to help me get better. So I leveraged that opportunity now because I had all of this information. I'd gone through all the processes. I knew everything they needed to help others be able to get in because it was a great company. I never badmouthed, the company. I remained positive. And I'm happy to say that I actually helped 3 people actually secure their own contract.
Oh, well, that was a success for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And made some money doing that.
Good.
Yes.
Good. Well, I'm glad that, we could help with that. So, myself as well was obviously a former owner in that e-commerce company as well. And so I understand the challenges you faced during COVID because we were essential and we were working.
Oh, yes.
And I remember when you were going through that ordeal with the company. And I just want to say kudos for you for demonstrating a level of resilience and remaining so positive during the process.
Thank you.
You always kept it positive, that outlook of that particular situation, but you also found a way to monetize your assets, not only your intellectual property, but also some of the assets that you had acquired during the business. So while you were resetting for the next thing. So
well, thank you. Thank you. Well, the Bible does tell us we're supposed to count it all joy.
Amen to that.
Yeah. So on to another note. Strategic thinking also plays a vital role in navigating the complexity of business. D, how can entrepreneurs develop and apply strategic thinking in their ventures?
So strategic thinking, and I'm an engineer, by the way, but strategic thinking starts with analyzing your trends in that particular industry, identifying opportunities, and making informed decisions that align with your long-term goals. So as I mentioned earlier, it's about sometimes looking 5-10 years ahead and saying, okay, what do I want my end game to be? And then working your strategic plan backwards and building that business. So as entrepreneurs, we must anticipate make changes and adapt their strategies according to staying ahead of the curve, obviously. And these strategies are often multidimensional, as you know. So we'll discuss those strategies in a future episode, Chee.
Okay. Very wise advice. And to wrap up, what final thoughts do you have for our viewers on embracing boldness and achieving entrepreneurial success?
So I'd encourage our viewers to embrace boldness, cultivate resilience, and adapt strategies that are in pursuit of your entrepreneurial dreams. Bold moves lead to remarkable outcomes always.
I love it. Yes. Now, Dee, we covered a lot of valuable insights on making bold moves in the pursuit of entrepreneurial success today. So if any of you out there feel that we touched on some things a little too quickly, don't worry. You can request a free copy of our Bold Moves e-handbook for entrepreneurial success by emailing us at cheeanddee@gmail.com. That's CheeAnddee@gmail.com. Our dynamic team will be sure to reach out to you to make sure you receive your free electronic copy.
Ding, ding, ding. Chee, that sounds means it's time for our ATL segment.
Ask the leaders. Okay, so Dee, I am going to reach into our profit box.
Yeah.
Okay, and
because businesses make profit. Well, for profit, businesses make profit.
There you go. You certainly go into business and make a profit, right? Okay, so let's see here. So this question is from Sandra, a listener from Duluth, Georgia. Hello, Chee and Dee. I have enjoyed listening to your podcast and appreciate the authenticity you two bring. I often hear that as a business owner, you sometimes have to be willing to take calculated risk. Can you share a specific experience where you took a calculated risk? What factors or considerations influence your decision, and what were the outcomes or lessons learned from that experience?
All right, Chee. So I'd like to take that question.
Okay.
So let's talk about, so for me, one of my bold decisions was my husband and I were looking to buy our first home after we got married.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had started planning like 18 months out, right?
Gotcha.
We started saving our money, putting plans in place to go ahead and buy a house when we would find that house.
Sure.
And so 2019 happened, and that was sort of when the world was announced that COVID-19 was
2020.
Oh, sorry, 2020.
Yes.
So in 2020, we decided, okay, let's start looking for a home in January, knowing that it'll take a few months for us to find what we really like. And so we decided to start looking.
Okay.
And in February, we found our home. And we went under contract with our agent and we started the process of purchasing our home. Well, in the middle of that process, there was a big announcement that said, hey, COVID-19 is a thing.
Right.
And so we're going to shut down the world. And so we continued to stay the course. We didn't pull back from buying our home.
Right.
And we continued down the process. And so the success was, obviously we closed on our house in March. And so at that point, the world was shut down.
Absolutely.
We had to close. We couldn't even be in the same room with people. It was a whole ordeal.
Wow.
But I say all that to say, I'm very thankful that we stayed the course and we didn't back down from buying our home, because obviously we were able to take advantage of the interest rate at the time.
And did you guys get any backlash or some naysayers saying, you sure you want to be buying a house now?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Folks had a whole lot to say.
Oh, yes.
Unsolicited.
Right.
Let me just say that. Unsolicited. But for sure. So we definitely are glad that we stayed with our, original plan, our strategic goals and direction, and pushed through to purchase our first home. So
that's
no turning back.
That was awesome. Well, your timing was perfect, even though at the time it might have didn't seem like that. But I'm so happy you guys did what you did. Their home is absolutely beautiful, by the way.
Thank you.
Absolutely love it. But as you know, as realtors now, you see we went into the market shift.
Correct.
And so now you've got that big, beautiful home and all of this equity. So you stayed the course and it is definitely paid off.
Yes.
Okay.
That was good. Thank you. So, Chee, do you have an experience that comes to mind where you had to make a bold move?
So yes, my experience is that I want to share is when I purchased my non-emergency ambulance business, and we had 2 ambulances, and we were running probably about, I think maybe 8 or 9 patients at that time, and the patients that we served, they were on kidney dialysis. And so our role was to transport them back and forth for their dialysis treatment. And basically we could do that with 1 ambulance. So I had an extra ambulance sitting there. And so, you know me, something sitting there, that's time is money. So I was trying to be proactive to see, well, what else can I do to get this other ambulance, rolling? And so I started doing research and found that sports was a market, like the people having the little t-ball games, the softball games, and I went to introduce myself to the recreational centers around the area. And I got contract with 2 of the rec centers.
Great.
So basically they just wanted an ambulance to be there in case any of the sports men, women, got hurt. We were there to aid and assist. And so that was a risk because, it was something new. And at first the employees were, oh, well, how are we going to do this? But when we started, it became, they loved it. So it sort of gave them a way to break up the monotony of, only, going back and forth to the dialysis, centers. And so when that happened, now it's, my wheels are turning now because I'm going to continue to even go further. Well, I actually end up getting, contracts with hospitals. We do their discharge patients when they're discharged. A lot of times, let's just say somebody got shot and they turn them to Grady, right? Once they stabilize them, but then if they had a back injury, then they might want to send them to like a special spinal center or something, and they use the ambulance service, for that. So it's a lot of things that you can do, and with different film studios that are here. I'm even looking at getting contracts with them because when they're filming, they want, ambulances companies on duty, while they're filming in case of an emergency. So there are a lot of directions that gives you options, and I'm exploring those options.
Yeah, good. Okay. So that's you have a plan.
Yeah.
You have a strategic goal.
Yes.
And it sounds like you're executing well and the ideas are flowing.
Okay.
So, wow, that was a great question from that young lady.
Indeed it was.
So remember, if you have a business or leadership question that you would like read on one of our upcoming episodes, please email us at Chee and D, so CHEEANDDEE@gmail.com, and your question may be selected for a future episode. Also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click, subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Yes.
BOOMLENNIAL Podcast, and follow us on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, etc.
Well, Dee, this brings us to the end of episode 3. And to our viewers, thank you so much for joining us today. We truly appreciate you watching us and supporting us. And remember, our episodes will drop on every 2nd and 4th Tuesdays of the month at 8 p.m. So please join us next time for our episode entitled Attributes for Success.
Until next time, shine bright and do business